So this is just a quick summary of my compost heater experiment for 21 to 22, October through the middle of March. I made a little octagon, as you can see there. And I did that. I had some scrap polycarbonate sheets, 6 millimeter. It's actually 4 walls, 3 air spaces. I cut them into little uniform strips and then holes, roughly a 1/4 inch on the ends. I used a little jig here to try to keep that whole location in on the little mini press here, roughly consistent and uniform from piece to piece. And then I did that with all the pieces. So I had a whole bunch of uniform pieces that are all about an inch, a little over an inch wide, with the holes pre-drilled in them. And then using a 1/4 thread rod, I can then put all those walls together. This is a corner section between the two, and you can see that when the octagon, 8-sided, is being put together. That means that it creates a self-supporting structure that's breathable and rot resistant and things like that, all just from scrap getting recut up. In the middle, I have a 55-gallon drum I'll be filling with water for some thermal mass, and on the bottom there you see that perforated like 4-inch hose or drainage pipe, corrugated, to have some airflow. It comes in from the outside underneath. And then I had some little partial sheets that I just perforated with a drill, just drilled a little 1/8 inch holes in them, and put that around the drum through it's filled with water. And in the background you can see some landscape fabric that I also put over those walls that were the structure. Again, that's breathable for air and so forth, but allows it to have structure and prevents the compost as it breaks down from clogging up that exterior. So how did it do? It kind of was a flop. There's over 62,000 data entries, but with some power glitches, it fucked up the sequence. So they're not in order, and the dates are repeating, and they're the wrong year, and all that kind of crap. I can't make a nice, easy to follow progression graph that would show how it did over time. But the data log events did happen, so I can still get the min, the max, the average, and the standard deviation. So we have the outside air temperature, a hole I dig just 2 feet down through a temperature sensor in that, and a temperature sensor in the 55-gallon drum, which was filled with water inside the middle of that compost pile. You can see here the compost really never heated up. It had a high temperature of like 71, which is no better than 2 feet down on the ground. Low temperature is down close to freezing, which is also similar to just 2 feet down on the ground. And the average is only about, the mid 40s. So really not all that great. The outside air temperature was also in the mid 40s. It did get warmer than the drums, so a bigger temperature swing, and it did get colder. So the air temperature was hotter and colder, but the average temperature was roughly the same. Some of the things that I think happened were, one, I might have had too much air flow, just any hot air can just too easily get out of the system. A second possible problem was that the bin with all the leaves and all that I had was only about 3/4 full to start with. And then as it composted, it settled, or started to, it settles and compresses and so forth. And so that ended up exposing the top of the 55-gallon drum in the middle. And since water, warmer water is lighter, goes to the top, cold water sinks to the bottom, and that's in the middle, that ends up, in my mind, it might have become almost like a little thermal siphon, where the warm water inside the compost is going to the top, it's exposed to the air, it cools off, cold air from that gets, falls at the bottom, so it's kind of, didn't help any. So that'll be something I want to change. Oh well, mostly a bust, a little educational, I guess, but that's how it went.